Okay, it's Pickems time. Today we're going to do China's and Americas. Let's start with China, and this is going to be unhinged because who knows what's going on. Actually, this first group I think is pretty easy because Trace should beat Tyloo, FPX should beat Nova. FPX will probably beat Trace, I think, overall, and Tyloo will probably beat Nova and Trace. I mean, this one, if anyone does have different picks for this, then fair play to you, to be honest. Maybe Trace beat FPX, but if you have other than these two teams winning, I think you're probably a bit mental. Next one, though, I think is a bit more interesting. I'm going to go with RB to win off the rip. And I'm going to go with Dragon Ranger just there. JDG will definitely be all gamers. And then, oh man, if we actually got this. You know what? Let's go in on the RB train. And let's go JDG win there. So let's go with this. Bit of an upset here, Titan Esports. But, you know, there will be upsets in the thing. And you know, let's go with this. And then finally, Billy versus Wolves. Now, I put Wolves in 11th on my power ranking list, not to do with anything with the roster. If you watch that video, you'll know. But yeah, I have to stick with it, I guess, and go Billy. And then I'm going to go EDG. And again, I'm going to go crazy here. This is something that I don't think a lot of people have talked about, that it actually might be better to lose this first game because you get a lot more prep time and you get to just watch this game. And, you know, assuming you're going as EDG and let's say that Billy don't really have a chance in this game, right? Wolves actually just get a lot more prep time and can maybe anti-strat some extra maps that they see of this one. So I'm actually going to go Wolves. Crazy as it is, despite putting them in 11th. No, I put them in 11th. We're going Billy, but just keep that in mind for the next time we come to a Group C. Okay, so there's all of my pick'ems for China. Let's just quickly talk about who I think will go to Madrid as well. Obviously, I think EDG will, but for second place, again, could be close between quite a few different teams, to be honest. I think if we got the play-in like this, I think Trace would probably be the team that came out of that, which would mean that, you know, we could get like an EDG versus Trace, but it could be EDG FPX as well. I'm going to say FPX gets screwed, and therefore we get Titan versus Trace. I'm going to say Trace go. So my picks will be EDG and Trace. And now let's come to Americas. And this, I'm going to upset quite a lot of you, but let's just talk about it. So for this, NRG Furia. If this was a team I had more faith in, I actually might, but I will go for NRG and I will go for Cloud9 over MIBR. So nothing too crazy going on there. Furia MIBR, I mean, seriously, flip a coin. Like, I honestly have no idea who will win that game. I guess I'll go Furia. I did put them one spot above MIBR in my power ranking, so I'll go Furia. But here's where I'm going to shock you. I'm going to go Cloud9. Now, here's the thing. Again, you're all going to say, what the hell are you doing? You're mental. You know, stop trolling. I'm not trolling, though. Here's the thing about Cloud9 versus NRG, right? Cloud9, I think, are going to be the type of team with Vanity. They're going to cook some stuff up. Okay, they're going to have something in their back pocket that's like really cooked up and really weird. And I don't think that Chet Cringe Comps Sing is going to do that well against that, right? I personally don't think that NRG or Optic of old, right? Whenever they come, obviously they don't do well in group stages anyway. That's been well documented throughout all of history, pretty much, that they generally don't do well in group stages and they do tend to lose some of these matches, right? So that's already going for me. But also, I think that they do better, I think, when metas are a bit more set, you know, and we saw it last year that, you know, at the start of America season, you know, they needed a bit of time to kind of sort out what they were doing and, you know, figure out who was playing what and all of that. And, you know, maybe they won't do that this year, but I do think that maybe, you know, they come in with some ideas and maybe it doesn't work that well for them, right? And they need to change it up a bit and, you know, find their footing a bit more in these games. And so I'm gonna go Cloud9 because I think that they will cook something up for them. Now, I still think NRG will get out of this group, right? I still think NRG will be going through here, but this is the first kind of, I think this will be the first big shock that we see. Now, Group B, I mean, my power rankings kind of already told you which way I think that this game will go. And there's a lot of discussion about my power rankings for Americas as well. And, you know, why I had Sentinel so far down and all of that. But the thing is, I actually think that the gap between 1 and, like, 5 in Americas is actually quite small. I actually think it's smaller, at least for now, than it is. And I do think that there are other teams that will probably surpass Loud as the season goes on, like NRG, maybe like Leviathan as well. But for now, I think Loud, I trust them. Sorry, Sentinels. I just trust Loud. I'm just thinking in a big game, who do I trust more, Sadak or, you know, anyone on Sentinels? And the answer is Sadak. Lev versus 100 Thieves. Again, there is a real part of me that thinks that this game is closer than a lot of people think. There is a part of me that thinks that Leviathan could be this year's Team Liquid. Like a team with a lot of, you know, big names and talent on there, you know, that are kind of coming from all these different directions. And, you know, it's kind of like a team of big name players, but from all these different parts of the world. And it just doesn't work that well for the majority of the season. Part of me thinks that could be Lev this year. But I still believe in Lev enough, I guess, to go for them. Now, Sentinels 100 Thieves, I do think that Sentinels are probably a better team than 100 Thieves overall. So I will still be going for Sentinels there. Sorry, 100 Thieves fans, but, you know, I think 100 Thieves fans are used to this kind of thing, to be honest. Loud Leviathan, as I said, I trust Sadak, and I trust him again. And so I'm going Loud that they will win. And we'd get Leviathan versus Sentinels. And this is where it gets really tough for me, because Lev Sentinels, again, I have my doubts about kind of both teams, to be honest. But I will go for Sentinels here. You know, I didn't know which one I was going to go for. In the moment, I've just decided, you know what? Let's go Sentinels. I hope Sentinels do win, because it's good for views and it's good for my channel, you know, and so it'll make me more money. So let's go Sentinels. And then we get Group C. Now, here's the thing again. I think Group C is more interesting than you know, because G2 versus Crew, I put G2 pretty high on my power rankings. I'm going to go G2. But G2 versus EG, I don't think people are giving enough respect to this game. Because EG have an advantage that no other team in any of these tournaments does. And it's not just that they get a bye. Other teams have that advantage. But they get a bye and a lot of time off. Right? So Crew versus G2 happens here, you know, on Sunday, February 18th for me, at 10 p.m. EG don't play till the next Saturday. That means that they have a whole week of prep and anti-stratting whatever they've seen in this game, and they haven't shown anything. Now, for all the other leagues, maybe the team has like an extra day or two, right? But EG get a whole week off. And so for that reason, I actually think that there is a good chance that EG can win this game, because they will have shown nothing, and their opponent will have shown at least a couple maps that they will get ample time to anti-strat as much as they want. And Potter, as we know, is good at anti-stratting. So it really does make me think, could EG win this game? And because I think I'm the only person making this point, I still kind of think G2 would win the game, but I'm gonna go EG just because I've made that point. But then G2 will win the rematch there against Crew, despite the fact that Crew will have an advantage here as well if it does play out like this, or really whoever they play. Again, whoever loses this first game does still have a decent chance in this one, because again, you get the extra prep time. Okay, so some unhinged Pickems here. Absolutely unhinged, I know. The thing is, if this happened, our play-in would be NRG, Sentinels, and G2. It would be crazy to have that play-in, like, situation. And EG and Cloud9 might play against each other. Now, if you're asking me who would go through from this, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna stick with a pretty normal pick here. I'm gonna say that NRG would win the play-ins, and they'd get drawn against EG, and that Loud will get drawn against Cloud9, and so Loud and NRG will be the two teams that go, which maybe it doesn't end up being a, you know, big shock in terms of teams going to Madrid, but we end up getting there in a very weird way. Okay, so there's the Pickems. I will leave the group codes if you want to join my group codes in the link in the description. And if you finish top of the group, I will give you a free gift sub to my Twitch channel. So yeah, go and join the Pickems, see how you do versus everyone else in the TMV community. And yeah, tomorrow we'll do EMEA and Pacific.